Okay, back to me. This one's coming from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my spouse to, quote, settle? My spouse was laid off from their job almost a year ago, and while my income is technically enough to support our family, we do have 2 elementary aged kids. It relies on my annual bonus being paid out at 100% every year. Even in this scenario, it's barely sufficient and has required that I reduce my 401k contributions. We aren't able to contribute to emergency funds, and if anything comes up as needing repairs with our home, we are stuck having to put it on the credit card. My spouse has a friend that shared a job that would have basically been guaranteed they would have gotten, since their friend was a former colleague and the hiring manager. But my spouse refused to even apply because it was, quote, beneath them. The pay was about 30% lower than their previous job and an individual contributor role versus a management role like before. However, even at the pay rate of this position, it would cover the monthly cash burn delta by about 3 times and take immeasurable pressure off of me and our finances. I understand not wanting to take a step back, but in my mind, even 1 or 2 steps back is better than no job at all. I can see that perhaps their perspective is that I do technically make enough for them to wait for the, quote, right opportunity, but now I'm wondering how much effort they're putting into finding a job if they're only applying for perfect fits.
Okay. At the beginning of the story, I thought maybe it was going to be like she really hated the job, like it was something that she really didn't want to do, but it seems like her reasoning is because it's beneath her. She doesn't want other people judging her for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she went from a high-paying job, maybe a prestigious job, to something that's maybe not looked at the same way. So if that's the only reason, I would also be angry.
Yeah, I would say you're not the asshole
You're not
for
the asshole.
asking your spouse to settle. If yeah, like you're getting by, but I think
You're barely getting by.
well, you have the perspective that getting by isn't enough and you need to be saving for your future. And that's a very smart perspective to have, where they seem to have the perspective of
We're fine.
we're fine.
Yeah.
I can wait.
Yeah.
Where you're like, hey, we're actually burning. This is not good. We need that additional income. So, yeah, I mean, is it wrong for you to settle and take this job and then still apply for other future jobs?
That's what I was going to suggest. Like, you can still take it, and it might not be your forever job, but you can still apply as you take this job. Like, yes, it might not be ideal because this is a friend of yours, so you don't want to, like, look bad.
You always set that expectation.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like desperate times call for desperate measures. Like, you can't just keep getting by expecting. There's no savings here. So, and you're also relying on 100% of your spouse's bonus, which is not guaranteed every year. So
Right? That fluctuates.
it fluctuates. So,
And he's not saving as much for the retirement, the 401k.
yes. So I feel like there needs to be some give and take here. Like, yes, it might not be ideal, but it doesn't sound like the reason is because you hate the job. Like, if you're going to be miserable in the job, I think it's literally just like
You don't even know what the job is, or like you haven't even done the job yet.
yeah, I think it's just like something that she's, or he or she, there's no genders, but they are trying to, I don't know, avoid embarrassment, I think, from other people.
Yeah. Social stigma.
Yeah.
I would say like the timeline factors in here. Like if this was 1 month after
Yeah, you're right. A year.
OP, maybe not stressing that much. Like, oh, yeah, I'd wait for your job. This is nearly a year after.
Yeah.
So this has been 10 plus months that you have been kind of cash burning here, having to pay for that side. So it's like, hey, at this point, you had your time to find the perfect job. At this point, you need to consider taking something. And I feel like, honestly, like, would that be fair at like 3 months? Like when I was looking for a job earlier in the year, if it got to the point where it was like 3 months and everything was not working out, it's like, I'm going to go get anything
Yeah.
I can to bring in some income and then I'll continue to try to like work my way back up to where I can. I feel like 3 months, longer than 3 months, I personally am questioning like what is going on.
What am I doing wrong?
What's going on here? Like, yeah.
Am I being too picky?
Exactly. Like, do I need to, like, I can settle with doing something else. I need to bring in income. And I say that 3 months now because I am in a comfortable positioning with savings and stuff. Ask me that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 weeks would have been way too long. I would have had to have found something to bring in some sort of money, like almost instantly.
All right.
Top comment.
Okay.
So, top comment. Not the asshole. You have 2 children and cannot afford to wait for the perfect position that suits their ego. There's no reason they can't take this job, while also keeping an eye out for the dream job. However, right now, the needs of your family are more important than their pride. I would say, especially with 2 kids.
Yes. Yeah. Like, you have people relying on you. This is not just your life that you're affecting. It's your spouses, it's your kids. Like, you have mouths to feed.
Yeah, I think OP needs to make it, maybe have a clear financial talk with their partner about their situation. Maybe people don't have as much financial communication in the relationship. I feel like we have a very strong communication of our finances because twice a month, roughly, we go through our finances together. We have an Excel spreadsheet that tracks every single thing that we spend. So twice a week, we go through both of our accounts. Sorry, twice a month. We go through both of our accounts. We record everything that we spend our money on. So we're very conscious of like where we spend our money, checking in on where our savings are. How are you? How are we? Here's our monthly. Here's what we're spending our money on every month. Here's what our savings looks like. Like we have a very open communication about our finances.
Yeah.
Maybe OP on this sense, maybe he's the one who like, or they are the one that pays all the bills, and the other person maybe isn't seeing the financial stress as much. So part of this problem is their spouse might not understand the finances of why they need to settle. So I feel like that could be part of like how much your financial communication is a part of your relationship.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. It could just be like the spouse is like, we're fine. We're good.
You're
like,
covering it.
Yeah. I don't need to settle on this job.
Right? So I feel like that could have a little bit of factoring in with how their opinion is formed about their comfortability.
Agreed. Okay. Move on.
Back to you.